So we ended up reaching our short-term target, which sits between 66 cents to 68 cents. And I mentioned in the past how ADA could potentially be within a WXY structure. And essentially, this is our X wave target, which we ended up reaching. And it's actually possible that we are still within the X wave, where we have a potential WXY structure forming, given that this move to the upside actually reached the typical requirements for the X wave, which is a 50 to 88.2% retracement of our W wave. And so you can see that we ended up getting rejected at the 88.2% retracement level. And so if we continue to see moves to the downside, then that will confirm that we have a WXY structure, and that would then confirm our X wave, and then we get to see that bounce to the upside where we then potentially retest this level at around 74 cents. And the flip side to that could be that if we were to continue to extend beyond the 88.2% retracement level and see high highs, then that will confirm that this X wave is now complete, and then we have the WXY structure forming, where we are now potentially within the Y wave. So if I remove this and have a look at what's going on within this recent move to the upside, and so if I go in a 5-minute chart, and straight away what I can see is that this move is not impulsive. And so if I use the Fib tool and bring this to over here, and so for this move to be impulsive, this move to the upside would have had to retest this 1.618 retracement level. However, we failed to do so, and instead we ended up reaching this region here between 1 to 1.226. In fact, we actually extended beyond the 1.236 retracement level. And so it's possible that we have a WXYXZ structure that's forming, or the flip side to that could be that we had a WXY structure that formed, and the Y wave extended beyond the typical requirements. And I can see that this Y wave also is made up of 5 waves, with this being our wave 1, with this being our wave 2, and then we have a wave 3, 4, and wave 5 that played out. And so, it looks like this move is now complete, and then we ended up seeing this move to the downside, made up of a WXY structure, like so. And so what I can do very quickly is check to see if that Y wave met the typical requirements. And the typical requirements is anywhere within this region here, which we ended up reaching, as you can see, and we ended up finding support at that 200 DMA. And so it's possible that we have a WXY structure, a bigger WXY structure that's forming, like so. And that could then potentially complete the W wave, and then we have a bigger WXY structure that's forming, like so. So if I remove this and remove this, what I'll do is have a look at the short-term targets. So again, using the Fib tool, so ADA could potentially reach anywhere between 72 to 72.8 cents. So that will be the short-term target, and so it will be interesting to see if ADA can actually break out of this 200 DMA, and if we do so, then that will be actually bullish in a short run, and again, that would then further confirm that we are within a Y wave. Now, if we do have a WXY structure forming to complete the X wave, then that Y wave again will be a 1 to 1.226 retracement of this move here. So let me just check to see where we ended up reaching. So we reached 70.27 cents. And so ADA could potentially reach anywhere between 66.19 cents to 66.95 cents. And then again, we then see that bounce to the upside where we then potentially retest this region here. And if this X wave is now complete, then that would then mean that ADA has the potential to reach anywhere between 72.86 cents to 74.21 cents. So again, we will end up getting rejected at that level. So if I mark that out, so we could potentially reach this region here. Now you can see that we are overbought on the stochastic RSI on the hourly chart, and the same can be said on the 4-hour chart where we are overbought, and so the bears could potentially regain control of the market. And if that's the case, then it's possible that this WXY structure could be in play, where we go slightly deeper within this region here, and then we get to see that bounce to the upside. And so, yeah, that's just my quick update on Cardano ADA. Hopefully you found this useful, and if you did, then feel free to hit that like button, and if you're new, feel free to subscribe. Take it easy, people. Peace.